everybody, Heather here, going to get you started with your Pages digital portfolio. Two things I want to show you quickly. I want to show you how to split the screen and run two applications at the same time on your iPad, and then I want to show you the quickest way to get started building your Pages portfolio. Here we go. Number one, look at my dock down at the bottom of my screen. I have a number of applications down here, and any applications you want to use at the same time must be down on your dock. For instance, if I hold on to my Gmail app here and pull it, I can simply pull it and place it on my dock, tap my home button, and now I can line a lot of different things up on my dock. That's the first step. We're going to use Schoology and Pages. So now that I know they're both down there, I'm going to launch Schoology and I'm going to go into our course because the directions of what to do are ultimately there. So I want to have eyes on that. Our Empowering Learners with iPads course is here. I'm going to go into Learning Stations Module 3, and the activity I'm working on is Learn and Do. Here are those checklists of the things I should be looking for, and I want to keep that up while I'm working. So now, how do I start Pages and leave this up? I'm going to use my finger in the big black bar, almost like the frame of my iPad, and I'm going to gently pull up from the bottom so my dock appears. And now I'm going to place my finger on Pages, hold it down, and pull to the right or the left until I see Schoology bump over. And now I'm going to let go. And you will notice now my screen is split. Now I have Schoology on the left and I can see my directions. I have Pages on the right. Now let's say I don't have enough room to work in Pages. So I'm going to use my finger in this middle. I'm going to try to get this little gray bar. That's a sort of like a grab bar. And I'm going to move Schoology over because I can still read my directions that way. Okay, so now I'm primarily going to work on the right side of my screen in Pages. And the first thing I'm going to do is hit the plus sign in the upper right hand corner to start a new Pages file, which is the first step. It says here, check a Pages file that includes multiple pages marked with placeholders. Okay, so here we go. You can start from a template or you can start from blank. Either way, it does not matter. However, there are a couple key settings that you really need to be mindful of or you are going to frustrate yourself getting started. I'm going to demonstrate starting from blank because that's how I am. I always start with a blank piece of paper. I'm not really good at following in the lines. But regardless whether you would start blank or start with a template, totally up to you, but you still are going to want to be mindful of these settings, okay? So here's blank. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with a blank page, and you are going to notice when I make my keyboard go away that I'm just looking at a blank page, and I could just start typing. Pages was designed as a word processing system. It is a word processor made by Apple. So nothing flashy about this. You can just start typing. But what I want to do, since I'm a big picture person, I want to see all the different pages I'm going to build. So the first thing I'm going to do is tap this second icon to the right, and I am going to turn on the page thumbnails. And in this way, I can see how many pages are on the left-hand side, and then I can see the actual page I'm working on. Now the problem here is that I have no way to add additional pages. The only way additional pages will be added in this mode is if I keep typing. I could hit return, 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 return all the way down, and when I get to the bottom, boom, it eventually makes a new page. Well, that is a very inefficient way to make a new page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the circle with the three dots, and we're going to change some of the document setup so that we have an easier way to do that. Okay, first of all, in this document setup, you can decide between portrait and landscape, whatever floats your boat. I actually am going to make a custom size because I'm into squares right now, you know, so there's a lot of square, I don't know, they're making cards in that size. You see a lot of social media that size, so you do whatever you want, but that's what I'm going to do, okay? Now here's the next thing you have to toggle off. Here where it says document body, Right now that's turned on, and that's all the returns I had to hit to go to the next page. If I toggle that off, you're going to notice it says, do you want to convert to page layout? Yes, I want to convert to page layout. And the minute I do this, I suddenly, down in the bottom left, you'll notice in that panel where you see page 1, there's a plus. Now when I hit the plus, it's going to allow me to create additional pages, which is fantastic and easy. Now, however, instead of being able to go in here and just type, when I tap on it, it's going to take me to annotation tools, which is also great because, you know, don't neglect to use your pen and draw some things in your digital portfolio. There's no reason. Those of you who love sketchnoting, use some of your sketchnoting icons in here and be creative. That's what this whole project is about. Okay, so you can actually annotate, but what if you want to type text? How are you going to do that? Well, if I want to type text, now what I'm going to have to do is hit the plus sign, and I'm actually going to have to look at the buttons at the top here. Right now I'm in this far right button, but if I go to the one next door, this is where you can add all sorts of shapes. They have a ton of stuff. In this basic category, the very first one is text. And now, when I tap on here, well, of course now I lost it. I have to get out of annotation. Move that over. Once I type in here, I am going to be able to do the typing. And now what I'm going to be able to do besides, I'm going to be able to pick that box up and move it wherever I want it. See, I get the grab bars that I can click, and I'm holding down my finger, and I can then pick it up and actually move it anywhere I want it. In my opinion, this page layout setting is a much more effective way to begin to build your digital portfolio. Okay, so I wanted to make sure you saw that. Also, the other thing I want to mention, if you go back to those settings, and again, we were in document setup, the other cool thing you might want to consider here is to toggle on the facing pages. When you toggle that on, now you're going to get a sense of what this digital portfolio is going to look like. So even if you title this number 1 as your cover page, and then you put your table of contents on 2, and maybe you do a short introduction on 3, and then you start module on 4. I'm not saying that's the way you have to do it. I'm saying that's just an idea. Don't forget you hit the pluses, and then you can begin laying all your pages out. Don't forget you want to tap in here to the title and rename it right away and call this Digital Portfolio. And then when you go back to documents, you will be able to find it very quickly. Okay, and you can see back here I was messing around with another one. Here is one where I actually started with a template, but you'll see on the first page I was actually able to pull in my Doodle Dictionary, which was one of the projects. And the way I did that was I simply went to the plus sign, and again it defaults me to this one at the far right, and all I did was do photo or video, and it takes me right to my camera roll. So all the projects you've been doing that you've been dropping to your camera roll, even your first movie or any drawings that you've done, you can tap on those things and they will drop right in there. That plus sign is super powerful in terms of adding things, because you can add anything that's on your camera roll, be it audio or video. You can record just audio so you can narrate what's going to happen, or you could pick this one. And now don't hesitate to look at all the different things that are here. You know, you spent time sketchnoting, but there's also symbols here that you can include. And once you have something added, the best way to edit or make a change is once you have the item selected, you're going to go up to the paintbrush and this is where you're going to make changes to that particular item. So the paintbrush is a symbol that indicates you're going to format that particular item. So if you didn't care for that fill color, you can make it yellow, or you can make it this pretty amber or orange color. Okay. You also have choices of giving it a border, making your border thicker, or a different style. There's so many possibilities in Pages. I can even make it thick. So now look at how different I can give it a shadow or a reflection. Look at how different I have made that icon look in that short a period of time. This is the power of the Apple tools, my friends. Pages and Keynote have the sophistication in their tools is like no other tool that I know. The amount of artistic things that you can do is astounding. You can not only style that particular icon, but when I go into format, you can also change the text. So if I was typing text in that particular icon, I have all these choices. And then I can arrange things. I can flip them horizontally or vertically. I can move them from the back to the front so I can layer things. Again, it is tremendous the type of things that you can do inside Pages. So I'm going to challenge you to be creative. Make sure, again, as you're getting started, you go into those document settings. Keep in mind, I started this one from a template. So in those document settings, you'll notice here my document body is still on, and I don't have the plus sign over here in the panel. So all I would have to do is turn the document body off and convert to page layout, in which case I now have the plus, but you do notice that all that text went away. So it just depends if you think your portfolio is going to be text heavy or image heavy or a combination of the two. And don't forget, those facing pages can be really powerful in planning this out as well. So I hope you found that helpful. That should get you started with Pages and also splitting the screen. And please do remember that you will be submitting your portfolio down here in the Module 3 graded assignments in this project submission. And remember, this project submission is just a draft. I want to really see your layout, so all the pages you're anticipating creating, perhaps some sort of structure to that to get started, and a couple of projects dropped in. And then you will be submitting a final version of this at the end of Module 5 that should include artifacts from all 5 modules. Okay, keep in mind we will have office hours Thursday morning at 9, and if you need more in-depth with Pages, more support, I am happy to give you more. Okay, bye-bye.